Buzz's Retirement Garage, another famous installment. We just had about 7 inches of snow here in Cleveland, which we're used to. I know a lot of the country has gotten hit pretty hard, either with some cold temperatures down in Dallas, Texas, and up south. The weather's been pretty bad, so I hope you guys are safe and sound, and hope everything's going your way and you're getting through this. In Cleveland here, 7 inches of snow is really nothing. We get an average of around 55, 60 inches a year, at least we used to. Now it's a little bit less. But the topic of this video is, what do I think about? Now, what does that even mean? Well, you know, when you're going to work every day and you're constantly thinking on your way to work, well, at least for me, on your way to work, during work, of course, and after work, you're thinking about work. You're thinking about what you're going to have to do today. You're thinking about what did you do today. And then when you go home, at least in my case, I had a 45-minute drive, and you would decompress a bit. And you would be thinking about work. So there's 10, 11 hours a day that I'm not thinking about work now. So what do I think about? What does a retiree think about? And I can tell you one, and we'll jot down a few of them in upcoming videos, but one, nostalgia. I was just telling you guys my video with the backdrop of the river, it's Rocky River in the Cleveland Metro Parks. I was telling you that I was starting to read some books, and the one book I'm reading right now, I got up to page 118 yesterday, is Billy Mumy, who was Will Robinson in Lost in Space. He's got a memoir out, I think last year or the year before he put it out, so it's relatively new. And he describes, you know, all these different people like Rosemary Clooney and David Cassidy, and there was just brief mentions of Steve McQueen, and a couple of Dustin Hoffman, who we got to work with. So it was kind of an interesting book, but what it made me think about was nostalgia, meaning, you know, now that, and it looks like my analytics show that 85 to 90% of the viewers on my channel are 55 and older. A small percentage under that. So you're at that age where a lot of things that you grew up with are now, they put it in a dictionary as nostalgia, right? So, like for instance, TV shows. I was, you know, reading this Billy Mumy book, Danger Will Robinson, that's what it's called. The full Mumy, because it's not Billy Mummy like some people think, it's Mumy. But I got to be thinking about all the old-time shows that we used to watch, and the people have all passed away. I got on my Facebook, I got a feed from, local in Cleveland, we had nighttime, call them horror hosts. We had Ghoulardi, we had the Ghoul, and then fan favorites were Houlihan and Big Chuck, and then Big Chuck and Little John. And they would do the Friday night movies. They used to have something here in Cleveland called Ghoulardi Fest. And it looks like Big Chuck has now reached an age where, and he's out in the, I understand he lives out near the islands of Put-in-Bay, out that way, Marblehead area. And from what I'm understanding, they're not going to do any more what they call Ghoulardi Fest, where every year they would have the horror hosts and different people come out. And as a matter of fact, they had Joyce DeWitt from Three's Company came out to one of them. Just a local Cleveland thing that a lot of people attended. Well, he's not going to do that anymore. Then they showed, someone sent a clip of what we called, his name was Superhost. And Superhost was on Saturday afternoon, and his last show was on this date 34 years ago. So just amazing how time flies. And the other part of nostalgia is, you remember when we used to go to Photomat and we used to drop off our 110 cartridge, or you had 35 millimeter film that you would take to the Photomat, and then they would process it, and in a week you'd go pick up your pictures, and then you'd get a photo album and you'd put them in the photo album. And of course we don't do that anymore, right? Some of you may have dark rooms and photography is your hobby and you still develop your own pictures, but for the majority of us, you know, we're just taking these pictures on our phones. So it's so easy to look back on our phones and see, you know, the pictures you've taken over the last, you know, 10 years or whatever, or longer. I know I've taken pictures of a lot of the photo albums that we have. I've, you know, snapped pictures, and I can go back and look at those pictures as well. So my point being is, nostalgia, or the past, is right at your fingertips. It used to be you had to go to the bedroom or the, you know, library or wherever you keep your photo albums, and you'd have to pull them out and you'd have to look at them, and you probably only did that once or twice a year. Well, now with the phone, you can do that every day, right? Yeah, so a lot of the TV shows, a lot of the movies, a lot of the people that we grew up with, that we watched, you know, they're gone now. Yeah, they're syndicated shows. Like we watch Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. That's still on MeTV. We enjoy that. But, you know, Time Tunnel used to be on. But, you know, it's just a shame that all those people have passed, and you're really never going to see anything quite like that again. But it's interesting to watch. So those are the things I think about now, is some of the nostalgia, because my brain has to think about something now that I don't think about work. So leave me a comment, and what do you think about in retirement? Is it, you know, some people have said they, more or less take care of their grandkids, and they're constantly thinking about, you know, their children, their grandkids, and stuff like that. But what other things are out there that you think about, or what goes through your mind since you're not thinking about work anymore? Let me know in the comments. I'd appreciate it, and maybe we can talk about some of those subjects that you guys bring up. Anyway, cold day in Cleveland. We'll talk to you again soon.